We're on the second Jamboard. The second task for place value on class copy, so we can all be here. Which of these ways to write out 5,622,106 as words is easiest to read? So the first way looks very plain. There's no commas. There's no words and. There's no dashes. It's just the numbers. Pardon me. The second one, we put a dash in between 20 and 2. The third one, we add some commas. Just like we have commas when we write it as digits, we're trying that with the numbers. And the last one, we put and sort of in the middle of each group of 3 digits. Oh, and there's a typo. Why is it saying 206 when it should say 106? I can edit that. Oh. I can type, okay. And sorry about the typo. Okay. Let's take votes. I'll make check marks. Who likes the top one best of the 4 of you? Nobody. Who likes the second one best? Nobody is gesturing. Third one? A hand is raised. Okay. 2 people. The fourth one. Savannah could type if she wants. Okay. Are any of them officially wrong as opposed to just feeling kind of funny? There's actually disagreement about this. There's 4 leading style guides. One's called the AP Style Book. AP is Associated Press. The Modern Language Association Handbook, the Chicago Manual of Style, and a book called Words into Type. So let's see the answers. Nobody likes the top one. The second one is what you're supposed to do when writing checks. I've never had any bank complain that we put the commas in, but officially we're not supposed to put commas in. And I didn't know that until I prepared this task. The third one is what most English-speaking countries use when not writing checks. So the fact that we picked this as people in Oregon is not surprising. And the last one is what people in Australia are taught to do. So if you have friends or relatives in Australia, check on them and see if they put and in the middle of their number words, or if that's just what some people do and not others. But there's a style guide from Australia that says you're supposed to do that. Okay, moving on. Why do we have these rules? If I had the phrase 350,000, does that mean 350,000? Or does it mean 350,000? If we put the and in the middle of the word, it's a little ambiguous, which is why, except for Australia, people are taught not to do that. Similarly, if a science fiction story says there are 1,237 people, buildings, and settlements on Mars, does that mean that that whole number is all of them together? Or is it 3 parts of a list with the 1,000 people, the 200 buildings, and the 37 settlements? It's ambiguous if we have the and in the middle of the number words. So that's why we're taught not to do that. There are some exceptions you can read if you're curious. So our task for now is to try and write as words the ones that start as digits, or write as digits the ones that start as words. So I'm going to put a text box here. What should I type in that top middle?
$1,204.
1,204. So I'm going to shrink it from normal to caption so it's a little smaller. So this and again is only proper in Australia, so we're going to get rid of that. I forgot to mention specifically the dash happens with words that end in Y. So 20, 30, 40, words that end in Y get a dash to link them to the ones that come after them. That means that for this one, what should I type? Start with the stuff that's to the left of the comma.
$602. Is that million?
1,000.
1,031? Or we're not using it?
We're not using the and, so I put the dash after 30.
102,031.
Yes. And I am one of these people that likes the ands. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's regional where we grew up, but to me it sounds better with the ands. But for writing it formally, then we're supposed to leave them out. I think it's
See,
similar.
last class I took, they let us do it. That's why I was a little.
Yeah. I think it's similar to writing decimals. If I was just sitting next to you doing some work, you know, we're watching each other as a group doing stuff, then I could just look at this and say 0.5, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if I am lecturing, or if I'm writing something in a book, then I want to say 0.5. It's just a little bit more formal. If I was dictating in a courtroom, then I would read this as 5/10, be even more formal than just 0.5. So I think it's similar to how decimals have levels of formality, that we're learning the formal way to write the words, but you can put in the and no one will care. For the second column, I'm going to make a text box here. How do I type out as digits 30,425? Or does someone want to do it with your own text box? You're welcome to steal the show.
It won't let me do it.
I won't let you do it. I'll do the typing. You just call out the digits. What should I type? Oh, someone did it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to move yours a little bit so it's more centered. And
I put a comma in the front. It's got to go.
how do we get rid of that? It doesn't like letting me edit other people's boxes. Well, 30,000. There we go. Ta-da. And then over here on this edge, what's the largest place value here? It's tens of thousands. units. So that's what it's asking for over there. Just look at the biggest one. What is that? Everyone okay doing the rest on your own? So finish this. And if you don't like fiddling with the silly controls of a Jambox, then turn this one in just by typing out 4 things in text or email. Just tell me what you would type in each of these places. And that's great. You don't have to actually fight with Jamboard to turn this in. Make sense? Okay. The bigger part of the homework is here we have 4 checks that people wrote in a kind of sloppy way. When they said 42K, then we might know K means 1,000, but that's not what you're supposed to put on a check. And similarly at 1,200 even, there are some people that will write, or not write, that will pronounce this number as 1,200, but that's not what you're supposed to write on a check in the words part. 615, so this is the way that I like to say it, or Australians are taught to write it, but we're supposed to get rid of that and. And then 122, that one's just missing a little bitty thing. So take these checks and fix them. And again, you can just type them out in a text or email. You don't have to actually play with the checks and send me screenshots unless you think that's fun. I'm not trying to make you fight with technology, just show that you can correct things. Okay, but don't do it now. This is homework. Whoever is the anonymous squirrel is jumping ahead. And the reflection questions for this task: can we write 2 different numbers the same way as digits? Either make an example to show we can, or explain why we can't. Can we write 2 different numbers the same way as words? And again, either make an example to show we can, or explain why we can't. So think about that a little. So this one, you'll have 3 pages of homework, because you have, oh, good job, someone did that. So you have 3 little bitty things to send me for this, 4 things just to type the correct way for here, and then some essay there. You don't have to do any screenshots, just send me some text or email, whatever makes you happy.